with a mighty triumph for his foes. He arose the victor from the dark domain, and he reigns forever with his saints to praise. He arose, he arose, hallelujah, Christ arose. Come on, old hymn. Sometimes the Spirit just... Hi, everyone. I am the Jezebel of your nightmare, or maybe I'm a Christian sometimes who can say Kevin Garcia, and today we are going to be talking about sexy things, sex and things. So if that's not your thing, then you can watch something else. We're not talking about sex exactly. We're actually talking about sexual health. Part of my work, not only in like the spiritual work, is also making sure that my people understand things and that we are a resource, because if you grew up like me, you had a subpar sexual education, right? I remember the talk that me and my mom had was actually me and my little brother and my mom in the living room. And she said to us, don't have sex with a girl, because and I remember she said, for guys, sex is just getting off. That's it. And the thing is, like, again, subpar sexual education. I had to ask, I didn't know what she meant. Get off what? What are we getting, like getting off of a train, getting off of the sofa, getting off? I didn't know what it meant. I was such a good Christian. And so I kind of had to like use some context clues, because this was before dial-up internet. Wild, right? I lived before dial-up internet. Zoomers out there, y'all don't even know what dial-up internet is. I'm a little bit mad at Generation Z right now. Y'all are shitting on millennials on TikTok. What did I ever do to you? What did we... Oh my God. This is what boomers feel. This is a very eye-opening moment for me. We're coming really full circle. Anyways, sexual health. I'm a person who is very pro-sex and very sex positive, meaning that I think it's okay for people to have sex, you know, where two or more are gathered and there's consent all around, ongoing and enthusiastic consent. I mean, do makes you feel good. But what about married people? I'm just like, well, obviously don't fuck with your marriage. Like, don't cheat on your people. Like, that's not non-monogamy, that's cheating, and that's rude. Don't do that. But also within that, sexual health is a thing, so I'm a big advocate of using condoms or other sorts of preventative measures. But there also is one thing that isn't talked about as much, and it's PrEP. You might be saying, what the fuck is PrEP? Like, what do you mean PrEP? You mean like if you gotta stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready? Kind of, yeah, in a way. PrEP stands for pre-exposure prophylaxis, or PrEP. And people who take PrEP, we take it because it is a preventative measure against contracting HIV. When taken daily, it's 99% effective on preventing the contraction of HIV, which means that if one of my partners is HIV positive and we had sex and there was fluid transfer between us, there's a 99% chance that I will not contract HIV, which is pretty great. And so why haven't we heard a whole lot about it? Because we're afraid of talking about sex. We're afraid of talking about our desires. So for so many of us, like, we're going on the grinders, we're like having the sex that we want to, but we're also kind of feeling bad about it because we still haven't got over the shame of our desires yet, which we need to do, my friends. And so part of that is also just like having a very frank conversation. And for a long time, like, I had some friends of mine were just like, why aren't you on PrEP? I'm like, I don't know, I just haven't done it yet. And the truth was, I didn't have health insurance for a while. And then I was gonna go to a doctor. And when I got to that doctor, I asked about PrEP and he didn't know what it was. And I think that he was kind of homophobic. And then I kind of got scared and never went back. So fast forward to a couple weeks ago when I was so sick that I had to go to the ER and then had to follow up with a primary care physician, and I did not have a primary care physician, so then I had to find a primary care physician. And they found one, and she's wonderful. And she loves the gays, and she's very queer friendly. I think that she is a queer person herself. She's wonderful. And I said very, very frankly, I was like, hello. In addition to like running all of these tests to make sure that I'm like functioning properly after this colitis, I would like to be on PrEP so that I can just be smarter about my sexual choices. And she said, dope, let's go get your stuff tested. And then I, got the prescription, went and got my levels tested to make sure that my body would be able to handle it. And I've been on PrEP for 2-3 months. Now, what's interesting is like this all happened, like, and it's like, Kevin, we're in quarantine. Are you having sex with people? No, of course not. However, I wanted to get it in my system to see how it's gonna react with me. And I haven't noticed any like side effects at all. So when hoeing season comes back, your girl's prepared. If you are a human out there who has sex, especially if you are a man who has sex with men, or you are a queer person who has sex with other queer people, the CDC puts it as men who have sex with men is the statistic. HIV is still highest in the community of people who are men who have sex with men, but if you drill down those numbers, it does not account for trans women of color, especially Black trans women. Can't find jobs, and so they have to turn to sex work, which is another conversation completely about legalization and the liberation of sex work, but we can have that on another day. All that to say is that if you are a person who has health insurance, I have health insurance on the exchange. Like, thanks Obama, like seriously, without that I would not have any health insurance. But if you are a person who has insurance and you may have sex with people who may have been exposed to HIV at some point or another, it's just a really good idea. It doesn't cost you anything if you have insurance, and if you don't have insurance, there are funds out there to help people get on PrEP, because if we help slow the spread of HIV and then eventually stop the spread of HIV, then we can actually stop HIV in our lifetime. That's totally doable, right? If we all do our part. Some people might get on me and just like, Kevin, you can't be a Christian and have sex with someone who's not your spouse. And I'm like, okay. And then I guess I'm not a Christian. Oh, I really don't care. Like, I am somebody who has sex. If you don't want to have sex, that's on you. That's your business, that's your theology. I think it's a small and boring theology, but like, go you. Live your truth, live your dreams. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Anyways, I decided to get on PrEP. I think you should get on PrEP. It's something that we need to talk about as a community. We don't talk about it enough because sex is still kind of taboo. And it doesn't need to be. Neither does your sexual health. And also, that's also not to say that like having, contracting HIV is a bad thing. I have so many friends who are living with HIV. There is medication out there for people who are HIV positive to get to a level of undetectable, meaning that the HIV virus is so suppressed within their system that it can't be seen on a test and it can't be transmitted. Undetectable equals untransmittable. So like, what are we waiting on, friends? There's no stigma here. We need to get over it. There's no reason to be ashamed. We're people, we're having sex, okay? And all of you good Christian boys out there who are just like, oh no, I'm just waiting for my husband, and yet you're also getting on Grindr, I'm talking to you. Get on PrEP. It's not that big a deal. I don't know why I'm annoyed. I have a lot of annoy energy today. It's coming out in all of my videos. Oh. But maybe it needs to get out. I don't know. Hi, I love you. I'm done talking. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe. Send it to your friend who is a hoe and you know that they need to be on PrEP. Help somebody out. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to my friends on Patreon for making videos like this possible. And if you think videos like this are important, I would love for you to go to Patreon and learn how you can become a supporting partner. There's mugs, stickers, plus workshops, plus tarot, plus more good things. Just come on over, baby. It's at patreon.com/theKevinGarcia. I am done talking now. I'm gonna go film the next video right after this. Okay, so until next time, please remember to take your medication, including PrEP, when you get on it, and drink some water. Call your person, move your body, eat something delicious. And remember that the cops who killed Breonna Taylor and Elijah McClain have not been brought to justice. So make sure you're doing your part. We're gonna leave links in the bottom of action steps for you to do that. Because if we're not talking about it, it's gonna go out of the media. Because that's how we do. We have a short memory. Okay, make sure you're getting involved. I love you, bye.